Selena Gomez cut grinding up against a co-star she's not in a relationship with. Dave Grohl admits to fathering a child outside his marriage, and Megan Fox calls it quits with MGK. These are celebrities caught in cheating scandals. So Selena Gomez found herself in the middle of some drama a few months back after a video was released of her dancing with Edgar Ramirez, her co-star from Emilia Perez, at a Sabrina Carpenter concert in New York. Now, what's so bad about a little dancing? I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? Well, it depends on the type of dancing. The type of dancing you do with your family member at your wedding, that's fine. Grinding your bits up on each other, different kind of realm. Usually your partner's gonna frown upon that. This dancing seemed to fall more into that category. People online were calling it a bit too intimate. In the video, you can see Selena kind of grinding up on Edgar, with him even getting behind her for a moment before taking some pics of the group. This clip quickly went viral, and some folks were all over it, saying that it just looked off because she's supposedly in a relationship with Benny Blanco. Speaking of Benny, he and Selena started dating in July of 2023, around her birthday. Fast forward to December, and she even went public about their relationship, posting a sweet message on Instagram saying that he was, quote, everything in her heart. Hearts contain two ventricles, veins, muscle, arteries, all very romantic stuff. But just when things seemed steady, rumors started swirling after this dance video, especially since Selena had tagged Benny in another post just earlier that night. Well, that was 3 months ago. The latest news is the two are now engaged, so I guess they sorted it all out. Selena posted a pic showing off a sparkly ring, captioned, "Forever begins now." Dave Grohl, former drummer of a little band called Nirvana, and founder, lead singer, and guitarist of Foo Fighters, funny, charming, an overall good guy to everyone he meets, unless you're married to him, in which case you get cheated on. No, this hasn't just happened once. Dave Grohl is no stranger to the spotlight. He's also no stranger to relationship drama. Grohl first tied the knot with Jennifer Leigh Youngblood in 1994. They eventually divorced in 1997, after Grohl admitted to cheating. Then in 2003, Grohl married Jordan Bloom, the woman who would become the mother of his 3 daughters. Sounds like he might have learned his lesson, but not exactly. In September of 2024, Grohl dropped a bombshell on Instagram, admitting that he not only cheated, but had gotten a woman pregnant, a woman who was not his wife. He wrote, "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage." Going back in time again though, he also had a relationship with a snowboarder named Tina Basic in the 90s. She dated Grohl for 2 years, and surprise, surprise, she alleged that he was seeing another woman while they were together. In her memoir, Pretty Good for a Girl, she said she found out through the grapevine. I don't know how anyone in this profession can have a normal relationship with a girlfriend, or 2, as it turned out. Grohl didn't give her the truth until she pushed for it, and she said all she got was a 5-minute phone call after weeks of calling him and hearing rumors. So yeah, Dave Grohl's got a history with decisions, but at least he's owning up to them now, saying he's, quote, doing everything he can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. But here's the thing, I just don't think some folks are meant for monogamy. So if you don't know, NBA star Tristan Thompson cheated on the mother of his kids not once but twice, from what we know, maybe even 3 times or more, when she was pregnant. Who is the mother? Well, she's a much less famous person named Khloe Kardashian, part of a very large and confusing family, the members of which I often confuse with one another. Now, after years of being the guy who just can't seem to keep it in his pants, Thompson decided to do some damage control. He decided to apologize for all the chaos he'd caused, and there were a few key members of Khloe's family on the list. He'd already sat down with Kris Jenner and Rob Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, and Kylie and Kourtney. Now, Kylie was not rolling out with the welcome mat. She admitted to being, quote, a little nervous to talk to Tristan, and you can't really blame her. I mean, this is the guy who kissed her best friend, Jordan Woods, at a party back in 2019. Tristan knew he messed up though, and owned up to it, saying, "The fact that I came with my poor decisions and being an effing idiot and just being young and stupid, I just want to say I'm sorry again for that." He really went on the apology tour. Now, Kylie took it surprisingly well and insightfully and graciously exclaimed, quote, "I appreciate that." But then she went on to talk about how tough it was to lose Jordan because it felt like losing a sister. Now, don't panic, Jordan didn't die from the kiss. Kylie just didn't appreciate her friend kissing the partner of one of her family members on the lips and decided to stop being friends with her. Kylie didn't let him off the hook either, saying, "I think you have such a good heart, good energy, and to know you is to love you, your spirit and everything, so it is confusing." Because some of the you do is really effing crazy. Next up on this apology tour was Kourtney Kardashian, who had zero interest in pretending everything was fine. She asked the tough questions like, the next day after you do the deed, do you feel anything? Hopefully it wasn't a red bumpy sore. Tristan's answer though, for me personally, when I cheat, I feel disgusted the next day with guilt. Well, this man sure does like the feeling of disgust and guilt, because he's done it a lot. The fact that he even said, when I cheat, like he's talking about a slightly embarrassing eating habit. Kourtney asked him why he kept doing it, and Tristan said he was, quote, just cheating for an action, just cheating for a feeling, going on to say it also came down to not knowing how to love. The two first got together in 2016, and just days before they were about to welcome their daughter, True, into the world in 2018, he was caught cheating on Khloe with multiple women. They tried to make it work for the sake of their newborn, but then in 2019 the Jordan scandal happens, and of course Tristan and Khloe went through a breakup, but like clockwork they rekindled their romance after some time apart. In 2021 though, it came out that Tristan fathered a child with another woman, Marley Nichols, while secretly still dating Khloe. And while the paternity scandal was blowing up, Tristan had actually encouraged Khloe to do an embryo transfer so they could have a second baby via surrogate. Khloe touched on all that, saying, it's done. My son is here, your other son is here, and some of my family's emotions have settled down. Not forgotten, not forgiven, not any of that, but settled down. So they're trying to co-parent and move on, but the damage is still there. I just don't think anything will change. Again, some people just really aren't wired for monogamous relationships, which is okay. Just don't get into one, you know? Now, who in their right mind cheats on Megan Fox? Well, MGK cheats on her, apparently. MGK, or Colson Baker, if you're feeling formal, found himself in some pretty hot water with Megan Fox. Megan dumped him after discovering some suspicious text messages from other women on his phone. While they were off in Colorado for Thanksgiving, Megan decided to do a little snooping. Never recommended, but maybe she had her suspicions and just needed to confirm. Well, she found enough evidence to call it quits. An insider revealed she, quote, found text messages involving other women and decided she was done. And yes, she actually did have some trust issues with him before going through his phone. Apparently, she'd been suspicious of his past behavior, but like a lot of us, she thought maybe with time he'd settle down. She even got pregnant with his baby. She was really hoping to make it work, but the messages were just the last straw. She ended their 4-year relationship just 2 weeks after announcing she was expecting their first child together. Meanwhile, MGK, not one to handle a breakup with a normal person apparently, went a bit off the rails. He was reportedly smashing guitars, smashing glasses on his head. He'd actually gone to rehab to try and save the relationship before. He admitted on a podcast, quote, I didn't tell anyone outside of the people closest to me when he made the decision to check himself into rehab a year ago. MGK also credited Megan for helping him through his struggles with substances, saying, Megan has been extremely helpful in dealing with the kind of psychological withdrawals that come with getting off what I'm gonna have to call substances here on YouTube. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Get a little nostalgic. It was 2012. Barack Obama's presidency was in full swing. Jersey Shore was coming to an end. People thought the world was going to end. And a little series called Twilight ruled the world, and for many, ruined vampires forever. It was a time where Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson were two of the most famous people in the world. They were also one of the world's most famous couples, but then tragedy struck. On July 17th of 2012, Kristen Stewart was caught cheating on Robert Pattinson with Rupert Sanders, the director of Snow White and the Huntsman. She met him on set because she starred in that movie. I figured some of you at least would need a reminder on that. Does anyone remember that movie existed? Anyway, the scandal left Stewart, quote, devastated for tarnishing her relationship with Pattinson. All these years later, both couples have long since ended their relationships, but just to drudge up the memories for entertainment purposes, here's what happened. It was August of 2011 when shooting on Snow White and the Huntsman began. There were rumors even at the time that Stewart was early every day for work, but about a year later, Stewart met up with Sanders in LA and the two were caught making out. They spent the afternoon evading paparazzi and groping and kissing in between. Sanders, who is married with children, reported being remorseful after the news hit and his wife, found out. Stewart regretted it, but most importantly, all those twinkling vegetarian vampire lovers, their lives would never be the same again. It turned out true love was just a lie.
Starting off strong, we have Adam Levine, who allegedly cheated on his pregnant wife of 8 years, Behati Prinsloo, with Instagram model Summer Stroh. Summer claimed in a since-deleted TikTok that she had a quote affair with Adam, who currently shares 2 kids with Bahati. That lasted about 1 year. She said in the September video, "At the time I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now, so I was definitely very easily manipulated." And Summer went on to share a series of screenshots that seemingly showed Adam making some quite bizarre remarks about her body. In one of the images, the Maroon 5 frontman appeared to ask if he could use the model's name for his new baby with Bahati. Some of the texts Adam sent his secret lover include, "Holy F, holy effing F, that body of yours is absurd. How are you such an hourglass?" Needless to say, the entire ordeal took the internet by storm, with Adam's alleged texts in particular becoming something of a meme, and more women wound up making similar allegations about the singer's infidelity. And while Adam later denied cheating on Bahati in a statement addressing the scandal, he did admit that he'd quote crossed the line. Next up, we have the YouTuber scandal that's shocked the world. Ned Fulmer from popular YouTube channel The Try Guys. Ned, who got married to Ariel Fulmer in 2012, admitted to engaging in consensual workplace relationships after photos on Reddit appeared to show him kissing a colleague, Alex Herring, in a bar. Ned shares 2 children with Ariel and famously built his whole brand around his love and devotion to his family, becoming one of the internet's most prominent good guys. "Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship," Ned said in a written statement. "I'm sorry for any pain that my actions have caused to the guys and to the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention." The rest of the Try Guys, Keith, Zach, and Eugene, confirmed that Ned was no longer working with them as a result of the scandal. "We do not see a path forward together," they shared. "We thank you for your support as we navigate this change." Next up, we have Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. Tristan Thompson made headlines twice for cheating on Khloe Kardashian, whom he began dating in 2016 over the course of their relationship. The Cleveland Cavaliers player was spotted cozying up to 2 women in April 2018 while Kardashian was pregnant with their daughter True. Later that month, Us Weekly confirmed that Thompson had been unfaithful to the reality star since November 2017 with at least 5 different women. However, Thompson was present for their daughter's birth, which was documented on season 15 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Us Weekly broke the news in May 2018 that the duo were quote fully back together despite Thompson's infidelity. The Revenge Body host defended her decision to reunite with the NBA star in November 2018. "His mistake was obviously humiliating and heartbreaking, but I do believe I am strong enough to endure anything," she tweeted at the time. "I choose to find a life lesson in every situation, even the nasty ones. Tristan has grown from this, but most importantly, he's a beautiful father to our sweet baby True." The athlete and Kardashian split for a second time when he was seen kissing Kylie Jenner's then best friend Jordan Woods at a party in 2019. Next up, we have Kristen Stewart, who cheated on Robert Pattinson with one of her directors, Rupert Sanders. "I'm deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment I've caused to those close to me and everybody this has affected," she said at the time. This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry." Sanders, for his part, publicly apologized to his then wife, Liberty Ross, and their 2 children, Skyla and Tennyson. "I am utterly distraught about the pain I have caused my family," the English director said in a statement. "My beautiful wife and heavenly children are all I have in this world. I love them with all my heart. I'm praying that we can get through this together." Both couples called it quits after the news broke. Next up, we have Shakira and Gerard Piqué. Piqué was having an affair with a 22-year-old girl while in a relationship with Shakira. Shakira and Piqué, a professional soccer player, were together from 2011 to 2022 and have 2 kids, though they never officially married. In her first interview about the breakup in September, Shakira told Elle, "Sometimes I just feel like this is all a bad dream and that I'm gonna wake up at some point. But no, it's real. She continued, and what's also real is the disappointment to see something as sacred and as special as I thought was the relationship I had with my kid's father, and see that turned into something vulgarized and cheapened by the media. But by January 2023, the gloves were off. Shakira broke records when she dropped Music Session 53, which is apparently about PK. His new 23-year-old girlfriend, and how Shakira is worth, quote, 2 22-year-olds. Insider's Alan Dawson previously reported. Our next cheating couple is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. While the world is currently wrapped up in Bennifer, the other one with Jennifer Lopez, lest we forget that Ben Affleck was once in a soap operatic turn of events caught cheating on Jennifer Garner, the mother of his children and wife of 10 years. He cheated on Jennifer Garner with, guess this, the nanny. The couple divorced in 2018, and after marrying him last year, Jennifer Lopez went on saying that, honestly, I would simply walk out if she discovered he'd been unfaithful instead of, quote, flying into a rage. Next up, we have Jude Law and Sienna Miller. The pair were a picture-perfect Hollywood couple. The couple had been engaged for 8 months when Jude Law's kid's nanny, Daisy Wright, claimed that the two had been involved in an affair while he was filming a movie in New Orleans. Law then published an apology to Miller in the British Press Association, saying, "There is no defense for my actions, which I sincerely regret, and I ask that you respect our privacy at this very difficult time." Miller and Law were on and off for the next few years, breaking up for good in 2011. That was one of the most challenging moments I hope I'll never have to experience again, she told the Daily Beast in 2022. The next celeb may come as a bit of a shock. We have David Letterman. David Letterman had only been married to his wife for 6 months, although they had been together for over 20 years, when he admitted to having multiple affairs with women who worked for him on air, including his longtime assistant Stephanie Burkett. The affair came to light when Stephanie's boyfriend Robert Halderman, a producer at CBS, allegedly tried to extort Letterman for $2 million in exchange for his silence. But David did not take up the offer and instead said this on live television. "This morning I did something I've never done in my life. I had to go downtown and testify before a grand jury." Letterman revealed to the studio audience that he received a package 3 weeks ago containing a threat to reveal those indiscretions. If Letterman did not pay the individual a large sum of money, specified as $2 million, he said that the package contained a letter that said, "I know that you do some terrible, terrible things, and I can prove that you do those terrible things." And sure enough, what was contained in the package was proof that I do terrible, terrible things, he said. Our next celeb couple is Kevin Hart and Eniko Parrish. Kevin Hart's infidelity story is honestly a little similar to Letterman's, as he was also being extorted. After denying any wrongdoing, he took to Instagram in 2017 to apologize to his wife Eniko Parrish and his kids. It was then later revealed that somebody was in possession of an explicit video of Hart and was attempting to receive money from him. Hart and Parrish stayed together, and he spoke about it on a podcast in 2020. Our final celebrity couple involves Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver announced their separation in 2011 after 25 years of marriage, it was a shock to everybody. The bigger shock, however, came later when the world found out that Schwarzenegger was the father of a son born in 1997, mothered by the couple's housekeeper at the time. It's always the housekeeper. "Remember, it's not like we had a feud," he explained to People magazine in an interview. "We didn't have a fight." He added, "It's just my F up. My chapter with Maria will continue on forever," he told People. "Even though it's a different relationship and we are now separated, there's no reason for me to feel anything other than love for Maria."
At number 10, Streaker. Like I mentioned before, the Met Gala is one of the most prestigious events of the year. Image is everything when it comes to the gala, and there's a lot of effort that's put into making sure that things go smoothly. So when there's any kind of hiccup, then things go south pretty quickly. Take for example one unruly quote-unquote guest who was not invited to the event, but who showed up anyway. At the 2014 Met Gala, everyone got quite the shock when a man wearing a hot pink mankini and gold chain ran through the event. He really tried to come in hot there, but since this was such a high-profile event, every precaution was taken and the man was stopped and barely even reached the red carpet. This event has so much security because you never know who's going to do what, so luckily there were enough staff to clue in to watch what was going on and stop it before things got too out of hand. This streaker, who remains unidentified, still got his 15 seconds of fame though, so I guess maybe he's happy enough with that experience. At number 9, the Kardashians. Apparently the Kardashians are banned from a lot of Hollywood events, like the Oscars for example, and for a while there, they were also unwelcome at the Met Gala. Though they are obviously welcome there now, that's only because they got the plug from Kanye. Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, apparently had something against the Kardashians and even went so far as to call them the quote, antithesis of fashion and class, end quote. Sassy. She allegedly banned them from attending the Met for years, and being a prominent trustee and financial holder at the Metropolitan Museum of Art where the function is held, her ruling stuck, at least until Kanye came into the picture. Apparently Anna and Kanye are very good pals, so once Kanye came into the Kardashian family, Anna couldn't refuse him, and so she allowed the Kardashians entry. Some thought that since Kanye and Kim aren't together anymore, that Anna would take back the Kardashians' invitation, but I guess maybe they've entered into Anna's good graces since then. Now before I carry on talking about these celebrity scandals, I would like to first take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really helps the channel out. At number 8, cultural appropriation. Every year the Met Gala has a chosen theme, and the people who attend the event are urged to show up in some kind of couture that fits said theme. For a lot of celebrities, they work alongside some pretty prestigious designers to come up with the perfect look for the gala, but sometimes they can go too far and end up offending people in the process. Take for example some of the Met Gala looks from 2015. The theme of the gala that year was quote, China through the looking glass, and a lot of people found that many of the stars who attended the event that night were appropriating Chinese culture. Many fans took to the internet to criticize a lot of the looks from that night, saying that too many of them fell into Chinese stereotypes and appropriated much of the culture and history. Among one of the most heavily criticized celebrity looks was Sarah Jessica Parker's headpiece, which was criticized for its quote, dragon lady stereotype. A lot of fans made the point that these celebrities could have just worn pieces from Chinese designers to fit the theme rather than appropriate the culture. At number 7, influencers. The Met Gala is such a high profile event that you have to be personally invited in order to attend. Well, I mean, you have to be invited and pay roughly 30 grand to attend, but it's still a very prestigious event. Or at least that's what people used to think about it anyway, because there are those who say that in recent years the exclusivity of the Met Gala has really decreased ever since influencers have started getting invited to the event. In recent years, influencers like Liza Koshy and James Charles have been in attendance, and at this year's gala, social media stars like Addison Rae, Dixie D'Amelio, and Madison Beer walked the red carpet at the Met. A lot of people don't consider these internet personalities and influencers as celebrities, and so they don't see them as welcome at huge Hollywood events like this. But what is your take on this? Do you think that internet celebrities should be welcome at events like these? And if not, where do we draw the line on who can and can't come? Is the question of how did you get famous going to become a criteria for events like these? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. At number 6, Naked Box Man. Basically every year at the Met Gala, bold fashion statements are being made. We have people dressing like Dementors, like Kim K did at the event this year, we have people wearing political statements on their clothes, and they even have people bringing insane props with them on the red carpet. But back in 2017, one person made too bold a statement and actually got kicked out of the event because of it. An artist by the name of Fyodor Pavlov Andreevich was going to attend the Met and decided to be extra bold with his quote-unquote look and decided to get naked and stuffed in a fiberglass box. Upon arriving at the event, two people carried the artist inside the box into the event's checkpoint, and that's really as far as they got there. One of the guards told them that they had to take the artist away, and they later put a sheet over the box and dragged him away while he was still in the box. Authorities were soon called and the police asked the artist to exit the box, to which he refused, so they arrested him, charged him, and threw him in jail. Really, the takeaway from this is don't be too bold at the Met, and most importantly, wear clothes. It is a fashion event. You can't go to a fashion event without the fashion part. At number 5, Tina Fey. The Met Gala isn't for everyone, and that's okay. Not everyone has to be into the whole idea of wearing funky clothes while walking around with other high-profile celebrities. One person who really isn't into all that, it seems, is Tina Fey, because she once had some harsh words for the event. Tina was invited to the Met Gala back in 2010, but apparently she didn't have a very good time. 5 years later, she opened up about the experience while doing an interview with David Letterman. In the interview, Tina ranted about the gala, calling it a quote, jerk parade. She also went on to say, quote, every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing some stupid thing. It's just everybody. If you had a million arms, it's all the people you would punch in the whole world, end quote. It's a little harsh, but I guess it's kind of valid. At number 4, Lena Dunham. Celebrity beefs are nothing new. Everyone has beef with everyone, but it turns out that at one point a celebrity feud happened at the Met Gala, and it caused some controversy and scandal at the time. At the Met Gala in 2016, Lena Dunham ended up making some comments about Odell Beckham Jr. and it caused a bit of a stir. Dunham alleged that the football player spent the whole evening ignoring her because she, quote, didn't fit his standard of woman, end quote. Speaking out about the way that she believed she was being treated by Odell, Lena went on to say, quote, it was so amazing because it looked like he looked at me and he determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards. It was like we were forced to be together, and he was literally scrolling Instagram rather than to have to look at a woman in a bow tie. I was like, this should be called the Metropolitan Museum of Getting Rejected by Athletes, end quote. But none of that was actually true though. Odell wasn't trying to be rude, he was just kind of existing while at the event, and Lena just made assumptions. She got called out for her, quote, narcissistic comments and later issued an apology for them. At number 3, Demi Lovato. Speaking of beefing with celebrities, we have another story about some drama that caused someone so much discomfort that they literally had to leave the Met. Back in 2016, Demi Lovato was in attendance at the Met Gala, but they didn't end up staying for the whole event. Demi spoke out about how uncomfortable they were that evening, saying that someone was so rude to them that they had to leave the gala and go to an AA meeting. Demi told sources that, quote, this one celebrity was a complete B-word and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink, end quote. Now, no one knows for sure who this B-word that Demi was talking about was, but a lot of people seem to believe that it was Nicki Minaj because of a photo that was posted that shows Demi giving Nicki some serious side-eye. There was clearly some kind of drama going on, but other than how Demi was feeling, we don't have many other details as to what happened that night. At number 2, smoking. In most establishments, there's a rule against smoking. I mean, back in the day, apparently you could just smoke everywhere and anywhere, but not these days. That rule isn't really anything new, but there are still those select few who choose to disregard that and do it anyway. This is how a scandal was caused at the Met Gala in 2017. A handful of celebrities who attended the gala that year were caught smoking in the venue's bathroom, and that was a serious no-no. Every year, the Met Gala is held at the Metropolitan Museum, and since it's in New York, the city health department has a rule against smoking in specific areas as per their Health Act. But it seems that although this rule was still in effect at the time of the gala, some celebrities were like nah and had a couple ciggies inside regardless. The stars in question were posting their little rendezvous on social media, which is how they got caught and got into some trouble for it as well. As a result of their rule breaking, the gala as well as the health department put measures in place to make sure that this kind of thing never happened again so that no one would get fined. And finally, at number 1, Solange Knowles. The famous Solange versus Jay-Z elevator battle is one of those moments that will go down in history as one of the messiest celebrity moments. It was a lot to take in at the time because no one knew what was really going on or why this Avenger-style battle was even happening. The freakout slash fight slash battle to the death took place at the 2014 Met Gala, and though it took place so long ago, there still was never really any solid explanation for this scandal. Some speculate that it was because of a cheating scandal, others thought it could be money, but really there is no confirmed reason as to why the fight broke out. All we have to analyze from this is surveillance footage that was leaked to the internet that got this whole drama started. In the footage, we see Solange and Jay-Z begin what looked like a verbal disagreement, which then turned physical. My guess is that Solange was standing up for her sister and sort of flipped out on the rapper, and this, like I said, sparked cheating rumors, and then this then folded into Beyonce and Jay-Z's music where again, infidelity was hinted at. Bottom line here is that this fight was explosive and caused a lot of drama.
And at number 10, the college admissions scandal. In 2019, the world was shocked to learn that the government had spent years investigating university bribes. The investigation, called Operation Varsity Blues, uncovered that hundreds of parents had paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to ensure their child got into the best schools in America. Even more shocking, some of the parents involved were wealthy celebrities like Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. Huffman admitted to paying $15,000 to up her daughter's SAT scores, issued a public apology, pled guilty, then served 11 days of a 2-week sentence. Lori was accused of paying $500,000 to get her daughters into USC, maintained her innocence, and in 2020 was sentenced to 2 months in prison, while her husband Massimo was sentenced to 5 months. And at number 9, Tristan Thompson cheats on Khloe Kardashian. Usually someone cheating wouldn't be a big enough deal to completely overload social media, but in the case of Tristan and Khloe, the cheating was so outrageous that people could not believe it was really happening. The first time Tristan was exposed for cheating, Khloe was 8 months pregnant with their child, and videos and photos showed him out clubbing with women, and even taking one back to his hotel room. But that was not all. The internet broke once again when it was reported that Tristan cheated on Khloe again, this time with her younger sister Kylie's best friend, Jordyn Woods, who was basically a part of the family at that point. Sources said that the NBA star was seen cozying up to Jordyn at a party where they made out and were all over each other. After that shocking and embarrassing scandal, Khloe not only dumped Tristan, but Kylie was forced to cut ties with her BFF. And at number 8, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, people have speculated that rich celebrities have private islands where they participate in things that normal people could not even think of. And in 2019, it was exposed that those theories were true, and a good portion of the world's elites had participated in disgusting and illegal conduct while on Jeffrey Epstein's island. During that investigation, we learned that Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Bill Gates had connections to this island and were documented as friends of Epstein's. The ties to the royal family were the most shocking, and the public was horrified to learn that Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, were so close to the royals they actually vacationed at one of the Queen's private residences. As of now, Prince Andrew is being investigated in connection with Epstein, and he's been stripped from the royal family. And at number 7, Jussie Smollett. In 2019, Jussie Smollett claimed that he had been attacked on the streets of Chicago by white Trump supporters, who told him, quote, "This is mega country," put a noose around his neck, and poured a chemical substance on him. Social media was set on fire after the attack and pitted Democrats and Republicans against each other even more than they had been before, especially since the president at the time, Donald Trump, was deemed responsible for the incident. However, months later, it was reported that the entire thing was a lie, and he was never actually attacked like he claimed. Jussie was arrested and later charged by the Chicago Police Department for giving them false information. Jussie was then indicted on 16 felony charges, and in 2020 he was indicted on 6 more charges. He has been found guilty on all the charges, although he still claims he is not lying. And at number 6, Kylie Jenner's pregnancy. Nothing broke the internet quite like when Kylie Jenner posted a video to YouTube sharing that she had been pregnant for the last 9 months and kept it entirely secret. Not only was she pregnant, but her daughter Stormi was born before the release of the video. Rumors had been swirling that she was pregnant, and it seemed likely because Kylie stayed at home way more than usual during this time, clearly hiding something from the world. In an Instagram post, Kylie apologized for keeping everyone in the dark, but said that she wanted to keep her pregnancy to herself in order to truly enjoy that time. For her second pregnancy, Kylie did not keep it hidden and shared tons of photos and videos with fans. Some fans were even convinced that she had already given birth to her second child and was keeping it hidden because of the Astroworld tragedy. But after the recent birthday party of Stormi, where Kylie was seen incredibly pregnant, it's clear that she is still waiting to give birth, but it looks like it could be any day now. Halfway, number 5, Monica Lewinsky. The scandal involving Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky is one of the most shocking of all time, and it's still so interesting to the public that the scandal was outlined in the latest season of American Crime Story titled Impeachment. In 1998, it was exposed that the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, engaged in sexual relations with a White House intern. At the time, multiple other women also came forward to expose his predatory behavior was a pattern. At first, he strongly denied it, but then a woman named Linda Tripp exposed that it was a lie because she had taped Lewinsky talking about her affair with Clinton. After it was exposed that he was a liar and cheater, he was impeached for lying under oath. He was impeached by the House of Representatives but acquitted by the Senate, so he remained in office until his term ended. And at number 4, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson officially lost it in the eyes of the world in 2002 when he dangled his son over a balcony in Berlin, Germany. People were waiting below and were horrified, thinking that Jackson could drop him. Michael later admitted it was a mistake in doing so, saying he was simply excited. He said in a statement after the incident, quote, "I got caught up in the excitement of the moment. I would never intentionally endanger the lives of my children." However, many did not accept this statement. Michael's close friend at the time, Uri Geller, condemned his actions, saying, quote, "I just would not put any child over a railing at such a height. I think it was a silly thing to do. He probably did it because he was overwhelmed emotionally by the fans." And at number 3, Martha Stewart. The queen of homemaking, Martha Stewart, shocked the world when she was sent to jail for insider trading. In 2002, it was announced that she was being investigated for selling off thousands of shares of a company called Clone Systems, because she learned the stock was going to be dropping drastically and didn't want to lose money in the market. She served 5 months in prison for her crime, but shockingly, her time in the slammer did not affect her career very much. Right after she got out, she was back to work, and now it's safe to say her reputation is completely healed following this incident. And at number 2, Tiger Woods. Golf is generally a game that's pretty boring in terms of scandals. The league of golf is generally very professional, with little to report about other than the results of tournaments. But that all changed when the king of golf, Tiger Woods' private relationship was put on display, and we were all shocked about who he really was behind closed doors. In November of 2009, the National Enquirer exposed that he'd been cheating on his wife with a nightclub hostess. Days later, many other women came forward, and it was reported that he slept with hundreds of women while married. After many years of being blacklisted from golf, Tiger was able to come out on top once again and won the Masters in 2019. Although his reputation has been tainted once again, after reports surfaced that he got in a terrifying car crash. His car went off the road and fell off a cliff, leaving his car flipped. And finally, at number 1, Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the 2009 VMAs is easily one of the most memorable of all time. Kanye West's interruption happened moments after Taylor accepted her award and became the start of a long-running feud that has pitted Taylor and Kanye fans against each other ever since. Kanye felt that Beyonce deserved the award more than Taylor and grabbed the mic from her, saying, quote, "Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time," before being booed off the stage. Taylor was later left back on stage to re-say her speech, but the damage was already done. Tons of celebrities came out on social media to defend Taylor against Kanye's actions.
At number 10, Lil Nas X. This year, Lil Nas X made a lot of headlines. He released a new album, rocked red carpets, but also got himself into quite the scandal as well. On March 26, 2021, Lil Nas X released his song Montero, or Call Me By Your Name, and both the song and subsequent music video was hit with a lot of backlash. The song included some adult themes, as it would, but the majority of the backlash for this release came from the rapper's music video. The video had a heaven and hell theme and included Nas dancing for the devil, so to speak. You know what I mean. A lot of people didn't like the video because of how raunchy it was and because of the biblical imagery and themes. But as if that wasn't enough backlash, Nas also got himself into some pretty big trouble when he released a collaborative shoe with Mischief that they called the Satan shoe. These sneakers were a redesign of the Nike Air Max 97s, and because this design wasn't authorized by Nike, Nas and Mischief got in trouble. They also faced backlash for putting a quote, "single drop of human blood in the sole of the shoe." For a couple of weeks, Nas faced all kinds of backlash, but he didn't let that knock him down. He remained pretty unfazed by the whole thing and bounced back from the scandal with no problem, but for a couple of weeks there, he became Twitter's public enemy number 1. At number 9, David Dobrik. YouTuber and former Viner David Dobrik is one of YouTube's biggest creators, but this year he got royally cancelled. Other than being super popular on the platform with over 18 million subscribers, he's also found success in Hollywood as well, since he's been cast on TV shows as a host and judge on a few game shows. However, this year David's popularity started to fall and his praise turned into scrutiny as people started to come forward with allegations of and bullying against David. Former members of David's YouTube friend group called the Vlog Squad came forward calling David out for bullying and creating a toxic environment, as well as orchestrating pranks that resulted in one friend getting hurt. On top of that, a former fan came forward naming a Vlog Squad member as the person who hurt them while they were under the influence, and also called David out for filming part of their alleged Because of David's content, he caused a lot of controversy, emotional pain, and distress, and he's only recently bounced back from the drama he faced earlier this year. Before we carry on reflecting on this year's past scandals, why not leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe consider smashing that subscribe button as well to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Armie Hammer. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this scandal by now, but this one has to be on the list because it was the first one that really blew up this year and it kicked off the celebrity scandals of 2021. Back in January, some of Armie's private messages with other women came to light, depicting the actor in a not so flattering way. The messages leaked by the Instagram page House of Effie exposed the actor for his bedroom fantasies, among other adult things, and this created a snowball effect that led to multiple people coming forward with their own allegations of misconduct against the actor. Things took a serious turn and soon an investigation was launched to look into some of the claims made by some of Armie's alleged victims. Because of the scandal and its severity, this took a huge toll on Armie and his career. As we know, no one is quick to forget a scandal like this one in Hollywood, so as a result of the drama and allegations against him, Armie started losing everything he worked for, including movie roles and representation in the industry. No one knows what the next step is for him, or even if there is a next step for him to take. At number 7, Marilyn Manson. Another really huge scandal that happened this year came from singer Marilyn Manson, and it caused a lot of drama in Hollywood and the music industry. It all started when his ex-partner, actress Evan Rachel Wood, came forward with an Instagram post calling out Manson as someone who had harmed her for a long time. In her statement, Evan cited how manipulative Marilyn was, accusing him of brainwashing her and telling her fans about how Manson had caused her so much mental, physical, and emotional pain. This caused even more people to come forward later on, including Game of Thrones actress Esme Bianco, who came forward with some of the horrible encounters that she had with Manson. Following this scandal, Manson was dropped from his music label and the LA County Sheriff's Department began an investigation looking into some of the allegations against the singer. At number 6, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This year, the annual Met Gala came back after being skipped last year due to the pandemic. We knew that something dramatic was bound to happen, but no one expected that it would come from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC showed up to the event this year wearing a white dress that had the words "Tax the Rich" written in red on the back. It was designed to be a political statement about the ongoing debate on whether the wealthiest people should be paying taxes like the rest of us, but instead of sparking a conversation about it, people instead started calling AOC a hypocrite for trying to make this statement at an event that is attended by Hollywood elites who pay 30 grand for a ticket. This became a hot topic on social media and in the news, but AOC didn't really face too much heat for it. It just made a lot of people mad, but hey, it did get people talking, right? At number 5, DaBaby. This year, rapper DaBaby became one of the latest celebrities to be cancelled. He got into quite the controversy after he said some pretty offensive things while on stage performing at Rolling Loud in Miami. While on stage, the rapper made offensive comments about the gay community as well as HIV and AIDS, calling it a quote, deadly sexually transmitted disease that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. He also went on to say some more homophobic things about gay men that also added fuel to the fire. Celebrities like Dua Lipa and Elton John condemned the rapper's comments and tried to take the rapper's cancellation as an opportunity to educate the public on what DaBaby said, how it was wrong, and also put an effort into trying to educate the public specifically on HIV and AIDS to put the stigma spread by DaBaby's comments to rest. Because of this scandal, the rapper got into some real hot water with the LGBTQ+ community and lost a lot of support as well. At number 4, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Earlier this year, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down for an exclusive interview with Oprah where they went in depth about their split from the royal family, as well as their feelings of having been part of it. A lot of information was shared as they opened up a lot about their life, and it ended up causing quite the controversy. The couple spoke a lot about their perspective of life in the royal family, raising their son, their marriage, and they also spoke out about their mental health. Meghan even opened up saying that there was a time where she wanted to take her own life. Her confession about having those thoughts ended up causing quite a controversy as people started questioning her mental health and whether that statement was actually true or not. The biggest debate on this topic came from TV presenter Piers Morgan, and he had a lot to say about Meghan and the interview. So much so that he ended up losing his job because he went overboard with the criticisms and hate, and the backlash he started to face made it difficult to continue. This interview was just supposed to be an exclusive interview to check in on the royal couple after they left the royal family, but because of all the information that was shared that day, it blew up into a huge scandal that was in the news for weeks. At number 3, Dr. Phil. Earlier this year, Dr. Phil was exposed and cancelled following rapper Bad Baby's YouTube video where she spoke out about the treatment that she experienced from a youth reform camp that she was sent to after her time on Dr. Phil's show. The rapper, whose real name is Danielle Bergoli, posted a video to her YouTube channel where she opened up about what she experienced, detailing how staff at the camp called Turnabout Ranch treated her and other kids. In the video, she shared how she was taken from her home in the middle of the night, handcuffed, and wasn't allowed to sleep or shower for 3 days. She also told her viewers that staff used restraints on people and that some people had also claimed to have been assaulted while there. Danielle exposed Dr. Phil because he was the one who recommended this camp and has been doing so for such a long time. People were absolutely furious with Dr. Phil because he condoned such a horrific place, and he was cancelled for it. Danielle demanded that Dr. Phil apologize for his actions and for supporting Turnabout Ranch. People find it hard to believe that he had no prior knowledge of what was going on at the ranch, and so when he faced backlash for it all, people said that this was all his own fault. At number 2, Jessie Nelson. On October 8th this year, former Little Mix member Jessie Nelson released her music video for her song Boys featuring Nicki Minaj. After the video dropped, backlash ensued as viewers immediately started speculating on whether or not Jessie was deliberately trying to portray herself as a black woman for the content, and people started calling her out for blackfishing. Blackfishing is a term given when a non-black person alters their appearance to resemble someone who is black or mixed by playing off black aesthetics and styles. In the Boys music video, fans pointed out that Jessie was using a lot of black-centric aesthetics, most noticeably a darker tan. But with this blackfishing controversy came more drama as people started looking into Jessie's past with Little Mix. Soon one of the girl group's members came forward saying that she had actually warned Jessie about blackfishing and how it's wrong, but Jessie still did it anyway, and even went so far as to claim that no one ever commented on it until this video came out. It made a lot of people see how messy this girl group was and had people speculating what really went down when Jessie left the group. And finally, at number 1, Britney Spears. Probably the biggest scandal to come out this year was the Free Britney movement and the drama surrounding her conservatorship. After the Free Britney documentary was released months ago, people got to really see what Britney's life was like behind the scenes and how the people around her led her to where she is today. The biggest concern with this movement was regarding her conservatorship, as the public learned what the singer can and cannot do. Many people said that this hold on her life was too extreme and there was a battle to get her out of the conservatorship held by her father Jamie. Luckily, after multiple court cases, testimonies, family drama, as well as media coverage and social media support, Britney's father petitioned to end his daughter's conservatorship, and he was suspended from her conservatorship as well. Now Britney is engaged and has more freedom than she has in a while.
Starting off, we have Tiger Woods. Now, Tiger Woods was one of the best golfers in the world. His career was skyrocketing, but then it all came crashing down. Now, Tiger became engaged to Ellen Nordgren, a Swedish former model, in November 2003 and married in 2004. They had 2 children together, but in 2009, cheating scandal after cheating scandal was exposed with Tiger. More than a dozen women stepped forward claiming to have had affairs with him. When all was said and done, Tiger admitted to sleeping with multiple women, though it all started with one, Rachel Urschel. It was reported that Tiger allegedly had a months-long affair with the New York City nightclub host. Now, days and months following this report, more than a dozen women claimed in various media outlets to have had affairs with him. Now, he lied about everything before finally confessing to cheating in a televised statement. Now, Tiger confessed to sleeping with 120 women while he was married. Yeah, 120. Now, after 6 years of marriage, his wife Ellen divorced him, which makes a lot of sense. After the news broke, sponsors immediately cut ties with him, and he was out of tens of millions of dollars almost overnight. Now, he thought he could get away with it because he was Tiger Woods, but that all backfired as he was actually made an example of. Up next is Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. Amy Robach and TJ Holmes were co-hosts of Good Morning America 3, What You Need to Know, and they had worked together since TJ joined the show in the year 2020. Now, at the end of 2022, the Daily Mail published photos of the co-workers taken across several outings, from getting drinks at a New York City bar to loading up a car at a cottage upstate. Now, neither of the broadcasters immediately addressed the photos or revealed whether they had split from their respective spouses. marriages. Now TJ had been married to his wife for 12 years and Amy was married to her husband for 12 years as well. In January 2023, the couple decided to walk away from their positions as co-anchors after being caught in their affair scandal. A statement was released which read, "After several productive conversations with Amy Robach and TJ Holmes about different opinions, we all agree it's best for everyone that they move on from ABC News. We recognize their talent and commitment over the years and are thankful for their contributions." Now, they have continued their relationship today and have actually started their own podcast together. Now, after they spoke about their relationship publicly for the first time, Page Six broke the news that their exes were dating each other on December 5th, 2023. Sources said that the two had been dating for 6 months at that point after bonding over the traumatic experience of being cheated on. It turned into something else and they're connected over their values. It's bigger than the affair now, one insider shared. They're not heartbroken and sad, everyone has moved on. Now, I guess this is a happy ending. I don't know though, losing your job over a relationship isn't a good thing at all. Moving on to Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan had a successful career when she was married to Dennis Quaid, but her girl next door image was completely ruined when rumors emerged about her cheating with her Proof of Life co-star Russell Crowe. Now, the tabloid frenzy affair was publicly perceived as the reason for her divorce from her husband of 9 years, Dennis Quaid, and led to a serious decline in her popularity. Now, Meg also denied that her fling with Crowe was the reason for the divorce, saying, "My marriage was breaking up long before it became a matter of public discussion." Years later, Meg blamed her own affair on Dennis, claiming that he was cheating on her throughout their entire marriage. She said, "Dennis was not faithful to me for a very long time and that was very painful. I found out more about that after I was divorced." Now, regardless, Meg's career hit a wall. Her film Proof of Life bombed at the box office, and the Golden Globe nominated actor has had trouble getting back into the limelight. And now there's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger and his wife Maria Shriver had been married for 25 years when they announced that they were splitting up in 2011. Now, soon after the real reason for their split was revealed, Arnold had an affair with a woman who worked in their home, and she'd given birth to their son, Joseph Bena, 14 years earlier in 1997. Now, he kept that a secret for 14 years. What? Now, Arnold revealed the news to his wife after his time as governor of California came to a close. "After leaving the governor's office, I told my wife about this event, which occurred over a decade ago," he told the Los Angeles Times in 2011. "I understand and deserve the feelings of anger and disappointment among my friends and family. There are no excuses, and I take full responsibility for the hurt I have caused. I apologize to Maria, my children, and my family. I am truly sorry." Now, his son, who he kept a secret, Joseph, had a relationship with Arnold, and like his father, he is a bodybuilder. But now just imagine if all this came out when he was still a governor. Moving on to Ned Fulmer. Ned Fulmer was a member of the internet group called the Try Guys. Now, his main personality trait in the group was the "I love my wife" guy, but then in September 2022, he was exposed as a cheater. TikTokers posted photo evidence of what appeared to be Ned kissing one of his producers, Alex Herring. Now, a fan also posted on Instagram a photo with her and Ned, captioning it that she saw Ned and Alex together at a Harry Styles concert at the beginning of September. Now, rumors and proof were gathered, and later, near the end of September, Ned confirmed that he had cheated on his wife and publicly apologized. Due to this being a work-related incident and the Try Guys losing a lot of money due to the scandal, Ned was kicked out. The Try Guys Twitter posted a message saying Ned Fulmer is no longer working with the Try Guys. As a result of a thorough internal review, we do not see a path forward together. We thank you for your support as we navigate this change. Now, it seems like Ned is back together with his wife now, but I don't think he'll be getting his career back anytime soon. Then there's Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was the 42nd president of the United States from 1993 to 2001, but in the 90s, Clinton was accused of being in a relationship with Monica Lewinsky, an intern at the White House, who was hired during Clinton's first term in 1995. Now, Clinton had been married
married to his wife Hillary since 1975, but he denied that he was having an affair. During a televised statement, the president denied having a sexual relationship with her, stating, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." Afterwards though, Monica confided in Linda Tripp, her co-worker, about the relationship and how it was true. It was then brought to light that Bill's and Monica's sexual relationship lasted between 1995 and 1997. Bill then finally admitted that he had a relationship with her, stating, "I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part for which I am solely and completely responsible. I know that my public comments and my silence about this matter gave a false impression. I misled people, including even my wife. I deeply regret that." Now, this ultimately ruined his reputation and Monica's. Moving on to Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner first met on the set of the 2000 movie Pearl Harbor, but were in separate relationships at the time. Ben was engaged to Jennifer Lopez, and they were supposed to be married in 2003, but in 2004 they called off their engagement. Jennifer was married to Scott Foley for 4 years, who she divorced in 2003. Ben and Jen then started a relationship and got married in 2005 and had 3 children, and likely had a perfect family, until their nanny, Christine Ozozian, claimed that she and Ben had an affair. In 2015, sources told Page 6, amid reports of Ben's gambling and alleged cheating with other women, that the pair had drifted apart and had been in professional therapy for years. Now, their split was announced a day after their 10th wedding anniversary, and they finalized their divorce in 2018, but remain on good terms. In a conversation with Vanity Fair, Jennifer had confirmed Ben's affair with the nanny, as she said, "Let me just tell you something, we had been separated for months before I ever heard about the nanny. She had nothing to do with our decision to divorce, she was not a part of the equation." Now we have Kristen Stewart. In 2012, photos of Kristen Stewart kissing Rupert Sanders, the director of her movie Snow White and the Huntsman, were released, and they caused a frenzy. Now, at the time, she was famously in a relationship with her Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson, while Rupert was married to his wife since 2002, model Liberty Ross. Now, after the photos were released, both Kristen and Rupert released their own statements. Kristen said, "I'm deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment I've caused to those close to me and everyone this has affected. This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob. I love him, I'm sorry." But ultimately, she and Robert broke up in May of 2013. Now, Rupert's statement said, "I'm utterly distraught about the pain I've caused my family. My beautiful wife and heavenly children are all I have in this world. I love them with all my heart. I'm praying we can get through this together." But after this, his wife filed for divorce 6 months later. Next is Jesse James. Jesse James was caught cheating on his wife, Sandra Bullock. They got married in 2005, but when it was uncovered that Jesse had been cheating on Sandra for a long time with multiple women, he became, by his own admission, the most hated man in the world. Now, In Touch magazine revealed the intimate details of Jesse's affair with model Michelle Bombshell McGee in March of 2010. Later, 2 other women, Melissa Smith and photographer Bridget DeGur, also claimed to have had romantic entanglements with Jesse during his marriage. Jesse said, "Yeah, I did cheat on my wife. Yeah, I stood up and took accountability for it and apologized, and that's the end of the story." Now, he eventually checked into rehab for a love addiction, and Sandra swiftly filed for divorce. Now, they were in the process of adopting a child together, but Sandra chose to continue the adoption process of her son Louis without James, and 7 years later, James said that he had no regrets. And finally, we have Jada Pinkett Smith. The actress Jada Pinkett Smith admitted on Red Table Talk that she had an entanglement with R&B singer August Alsina during her marriage to Will Smith, although they were separated at the time. Now, though the Smiths wouldn't call it a scandal, the rest of the world was shocked when August spoke out about a relationship he had with Jada Pinkett Smith during an interview in June 2020. He said, "I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really deeply love and have a ton of love for her." Now, he went on to claim that Will knew about the relationship and even gave August and Jada his blessing. Now, naturally, people were shocked, as the Smiths are one of the longest lasting and famous Hollywood couples in recent history. Now, first, the couple issued a quick statement denying the relationship, but Jada then announced on her Twitter that she was taking herself to the Red Table. In July 2020, the Smiths sat down at the Red Table and discussed their relationship. They spoke about a dark period in their marriage where they thought they were going to separate and never speak again. Now, that's when Jada and August began their relationship, or what she originally called an entanglement. Will denied giving August permission, but did know that the two were seeing each other. However, their relationship came to an end once she and Will decided to try and work things out, which they did. Now, Diddy has finally been exposed for his crime ring and how he treated his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. But apparently all of this was just an open secret in Hollywood, which is honestly really messed up. Now, a lot of celebrities have been to Diddy's parties and engaged in who knows what while there. I mean, multiple celebs have spoken out against Diddy, saying that they don't go to Diddy parties and that you just have to tell the man no over and over, which is honestly just so sketchy, and it's just like, why didn't anyone put a stop to this sooner? Now, Kanye West knew all about this allegedly, and in a 2022 interview, he claimed that Diddy was actually working with law enforcement as an informant, and that's why he was able to get away with what he did. Is this credible? No, not really, not at all, but it is something to think about. Not to mention, Diddy is friends with some very powerful people like Jay-Z and Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, and the Kardashians. In 2023, Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against Diddy that was promptly settled the next day. Then on February 26, 2024, music producer Rodney Jones filed a lawsuit against him as well. On March 25th of this year, Homeland Security investigations served search warrants in the early morning raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Diddy was then arrested last week after being accused of criminal activity going back to at least 2008. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges and wanted to be released on bail, but a judge denied his request. We'll now just have to wait and see what happens, but it appears everyone who was a part of this or helped cover it up will be exposed. Oscar-winning director Roman Polanski was expelled from the Academy in 2018, as the expulsion came more than 40 years after a horrendous legal incident. In 1977, he was convicted of a serious crime, but he fled the United States before being jailed. Now, since he fled the country before sentencing, legally he still has to answer for all charges. But due to this, he can never come back to the United States, because if he ever does, he will be arrested. Now, one of the big problems is that numerous big shots in the movie industry have already written countless petitions asking to pardon Roman, which is honestly disgusting. Now, more than 100 people in the film industry, including Woody Allen, Martin Scorsese, David Lynch, Wes Anderson, Harrison Ford, among many others, signed a petition in 2009 calling for his release. Now, on October 30th, 2015, a Polish judge denied a request by the United States to extradite Roman, so it appears he'll never face the justice his victims deserve. Now, Woody Allen and Mia Farrow began dating in 1980 and were together for 12 years until their split. Now, during that time, the couple adopted 2 children, Dylan and Moses Farrow, and had 1 biological child, Ronan Farrow. Now, Mia and Woody split in 1992, shortly before Woodley publicly revealed that he was dating Suni Previn, Mia's 21-year-old daughter she had adopted with her ex-husband, Andre Previn. Woody began dating his technical stepdaughter. Now, Mia reportedly learned of this relationship early in 1992 when she discovered some photographs of Soon-Yi in Woody's apartment. Now, the two started dating when she was 21 years old, and they married 6 years later when Soon-Yi was 27 and Woody was 62. Now, when asked about his affair, Woody responded by saying, "The heart wants what it wants, there's no logic to those things. You meet someone and you fall in love, and that's that." Ronan Farrow said it best when describing his family dynamic: "He's my father married to my sister, that makes me his son and his brother-in-law." Now, this is all just so crazy because it seems like no one really cares about this, which is just insane. The situation is just so icky, not to mention Woody has been accused of committing some other crimes too, but people still continue to be in his movies and support him. Alfred Hitchcock was an interesting man to say the least, but what people didn't really know was that there was a dark side to him. Now, his first of many recorded instances of actor mistreatment occurred on the set of his film The 39 Steps. He would announce lead actress Madeleine Carroll's presence on set by yelling, "Bring on the Birmingham tart," and would leave her handcuffed to her co-star for hours on end, claiming to have lost the key. Now, he took pleasure in agitating his actresses with crude sexual jokes, and even going as far as making up a story about sleeping with Ingrid Bergman and having actress Janet Leigh filmed in the shower for a 6-day shooting period for Psycho. But by far the worst was Lopezz's treatment of lead Tippi Hedren while shooting the birds. Now Hitchcock became infatuated with her, and after she refused some of his advances, he had live birds attached to her instead of mechanical ones for the shooting of a scene, which ultimately required her to be hospitalized. Later, Hitchcock's demands led to a horrible fight, according to Tippi. She then told him Marnie would be their last film together, and later recalled how Hitchcock told her he would destroy her career. He said, "I'll ruin your career," and he did ruin my career. He kept me under contract and paid me to do nothing for close to 2 years. Now Tippi said this essentially ruined her career as a leading lady, and it's such a shame. Now everyone knows about Britney Spears' meltdowns in 2006 and 2007. Now amidst her split from Kevin Federline, she shaved her head and was sworn by paparazzi at a gas station, and in retaliation she smashed a photographer's car with an infamous green umbrella. Now later, at the beginning of 2008, she was put on a 5150 hold in the hospital. A week after this, she was sent back to the hospital on a 5150 hold, and her father Jamie was granted temporary conservatorship over the star. Now in July that year, he requested for it to be extended, which it was. 2 years before the temporary court-ordered conservatorship was supposed to see its end, a judge then ruled that Jamie would retain control over his daughter for an indefinite period. Speaking of this period of time in her memoir, Britney said, "Even though I begged the court to appoint literally anyone else, and I mean anyone off the street would have been better, my father was given the job. And the court told me I was demented, and I wasn't even allowed to pick my own lawyer." Soon after the conservatorship was in place, she said her father said, "I just want to let you know, I call the shots. You sit right there in the chair and I'll tell you what goes on," she recalled. "I looked at him with a growing sense of horror. I'm Britney Spears now," he said. Britney also spoke out about that 13-year conservatorship as she hit out on her dad Jamie in the explosive memoir, as she opened up about the unrelenting control her family had over her, which, looking back, makes her feel sick. Now people in Hollywood knew about this but didn't do anything. Finally, in 2019, fans started to realize that something was wrong, and they created the Free Britney movement. With fans backing Britney up, she felt like she finally had a voice and requested the conservatorship to end. Now she and her father appeared in court multiple times over the year, and on November 12, 2021, the conservatorship was officially over. Now so many people knew what was going on and directly profited off the whole situation though, which is just gross. And finally, a lot of people know that Judy Garland was treated poorly in the industry, but not that many people know the extent of it. She signed with MGM when she was just a teen, and she appeared on screen in the 1936's Pigskin Parade, a musical comedy about college football coaches. At that point, MGM execs were already bugging her about her weight. They told her she looked like a fat little pig with pigtails and placed her on a forced diet, something that would continue on in her career. The studio restricted her calories so heavily that she unfortunately fell into cycles of starving and binging. In 1938, an MGM exec told her that she was so fat she looked like a monster, and when she was 18, Louis Mayer himself allowed her to consume only black coffee and chicken soup, along with 80 cigarettes and diet pills every 4 hours to reduce her appetite. Now this kept the weight off, but anytime she stopped dieting, her weight would skyrocket. Studio managers would send memos on her daily eating, including notes like Garland gained 10 pounds, costumes refitted, and Judy sneaked out between takes 7 and 8 this afternoon and had a malted milk. Now, poor girl, as she was treated absolutely horrible by MGM.